There have been a ton of new game announcements and updates at the Future Game Showcase this week, and there are some insane games coming to Xbox this year and beyond. My name is Fletcher, and this is Xbox Nation, and today I will be covering the 18 huge new Xbox and Game Pass game announcements and updates from the Future Game Showcase. Do make sure you stick around to the end of the video for some huge Game Pass updates, and let's dive right into the games. First up, and if you're a fan of dark side-scrolling titles like Limbo, Inside, or just Little Nightmares, there is now a new contender in this niche. Once Upon a Puppet is the story of puzzles and dynamic levels in which we control a little wooden puppet. During the Future Game Showcase, it unveiled a brand new trailer packed with lots of charm, some spooky situations, and also a final release date. Among its main attractions though, Once Upon a Puppet features simultaneous control of the characters Drev and Snow, some different manipulation and changeable states, and lots of collectibles alongside some clever puzzles. Once Upon a Puppet will be arriving on the 23rd of April for both the Xbox Series X and S consoles, and to be honest, I'm really looking forward to diving into this nightmarish platformer. This next announcement, I have to say, was a bit of a shock. 6 years on from its initial reveal, System Shock 2 25th Anniversary Remaster is finally releasing for consoles and PC later this year, following the first System Shock's remaster back in 2023. What we saw in the trailer and announcement is that we can expect improved visuals, as well as support for advanced shaders and much higher refresh rates, and that's actually leading to much better presentation and performance overall. Originally, the game was actually a PC exclusive back in the day, but the game will now be receiving controller support for the very first time, now that it's coming to consoles. Actions like leaning around corners, quick swapping items, weapons, and side powers have all been streamlined for controller support. Personally, I am a very huge fan of the original System Shock 2. I loved almost everything about it, from its terrifying mutated human enemies, horrific atmosphere, and also an incredible soundtrack that bounces between moody horror and fast-paced, pulse-pounding techno. Definitely get ready for this one when it arrives onto Xbox this June. Now, the Future Game Show has presented a strong new contender in the Souls-like indie market. Mandragora, Whispers of the Witch Tree is an upcoming 2.5D hack-and-slash dark fantasy RPG from Primal Game and Knight's Peak. The combat we see seems pretty slick and springy to myself, inspired by recent trials like Blasphemous and Sultan Sanctuary. The Inquisitor we watch weaves their way through albino spiders, hulking rats, and legions of animated corpses, and also strange angular horrors that defy easy explanation. Not only that, but we also saw them mixing up spellcasting and swordplay, slinging fire and steel alternately, while backed by a skill tree that's downright sprawling. Mandragora Whispers of the Witch Tree is definitely one to keep your eye on, especially if you love Metroidvanias, and it will be coming to the Xbox Series X and S consoles on the 17th of April. Next up, we actually got a bit of a look at a post-apocalyptic turn-based strategy game that's called Chains of Freedom, and it brings that sort of XCOM-style tactical combat to a dark fantasy dystopia set in Eastern Europe. While its battles most closely resemble the tight, close-quarters encounter design of XCOM, Chains of Freedom also adopts the real-time exploration seen in other turn-based strategy games such as Wasteland 3. Once things kick off, however, that shift to turn-based gives you full control to carefully plan out every single move and also compare the statistics and odds of every possible action. You'll need to make use of every tool in your kit if you're going to overcome the numerous threats that really do stand in your way, from different rival factions to some mutant horrors. While its tale of deep-rooted conspiracies and betrayal promises plenty of intrigue here, it's the combat that honestly has really caught my eye. The Chains of Freedom release date is the 15th of April, so we really don't have to wait long for this new strategy game, especially if you wanted to check it out. Up next, we have a game that has been on Steam since late last year, but is coming to the Xbox Series X and S consoles for the very first time. Finding Frankie invites us into a true experience of terror as you compete in a terrifyingly twisted parkour show. You will have to stealthily navigate around horrifying characters and swing through challenging parkour courses. You essentially will be doing this alongside competing for your life against two other contestants in what can only be described as Ninja Warrior if it was set in the Disneyland of your nightmares. It arrives this April, and I know many of you are excited as it had some massively positive reviews on Steam since its release, with many actually comparing it to Five Nights at Freddy's meets Fall Guys. Will you be grabbing this new game, or have you ever been a fan of games like Five Nights at Freddy's? Let me know in the comments below. Mountain Blade 2 Bannerlord is currently on Xbox Game Pass, and in this new show we got to see an all-new Viking themed expansion coming soon to this game called War Sails. To give you a bit of an idea, War Sails is a new single-player expansion for the strategy RPG that brings naval warfare to Bannerlord for the very first time. You'll be taking command of different ships, engaging in sea battles, and mastering the art of maritime conquest to seize your fortune. Doing that does require you from mastering everything from ship-to-ship combat and boarding mechanics to different fleet management. Alongside leading warships into battle though, you'll also need to upgrade, trade and repair them as you seek to control key routes to dominate the seas. As for who you'll be managing, one such option is the expansion's new Viking-inspired faction. Again, this one will be coming to the Xbox Series X and S consoles this June, and I cannot wait to see what this expansion brings to this already phenomenal RPG. The beautiful adventure game Will Follow the Light just unveiled its first new gameplay in a new trailer, and honestly I'm so intrigued and have this firmly on my radar for this year. Will Follow the Light is a story-driven first-person adventure puzzle game set in the far north. In this game, you will play as a character named Will, and you're on a journey to reunite with your family. To do so, you'll have to traverse difficult terrain, sail dangerous oceans, and also solve some pretty tricky puzzles. The new trailer, which is captured entirely in-game, shows off some of these puzzles, as well as the wide array of locations Will has to navigate in order to complete his journey. There's also a new look at sailing gameplay, where you can almost feel the sting of the waves as they splash over the bow of your boat. This isn't the first we've actually seen from Will Follow the Light, but thankfully we won't have to wait much longer to see even more. While there's no release date actually confirmed for this game as of yet, developer Tomorrowhead Studio has confirmed that the launch is planned for later this year. Cloudheim is a very interesting co-op action RPG that's all about being creative with its physics-driven combat. Upon doing a bit of digging for this video, I did find that this game is actually playable solo or with up to 3 friends, which is incredibly nice to see. At the show, we got a bit more of an explanation about the fighting and the classes that you can use to mix and match abilities in battle. This game really does give me the Legend of Zelda vibes, and to be honest, I'm all for it, especially as we don't have many games like this on Xbox currently. The combat here looks absolutely insane, with a real emphasis though on that physics-driven mechanic. You can also explore the game's world while riding on the back of a giant flying turtle, and you'll be able to craft a range of weaponry and equipment as you progress. It sounds absolutely bonkers, looks great, and I cannot wait to get my hands on this one when it launches later this year. Section 13 is finally getting a full launch in May after 2 years in early access. The roguelike shooter from Ocean Drive Studios actually sees us investigate the mysterious titular Section 13 facility, where all manner of eldritch horrors are kept in a deep network of subterranean labs. As one of 4 S2P agents, each with their own perks, you've got to get as far into Section 13 as possible before you meet your grisly end, discovering whatever secrets, weapons, and powers that you can. Given that this is a roguelike game, death really is essential for you to progress, with each discovery that you make on a run helping you into the next. Upon your demise, you'll be able to unlock permanent upgrades for your agent and also expand their existing weapon arsenal. The game has mostly positive reviews on Steam at the moment, with many praising the co-op aspect, so if you love twin-stick shooters, definitely keep this one on your radar. Spanish studio Path Games, creators of Insomnis, are once again exploring psychological horror in high definition with Dark Mass. What was shown was definitely in high definition, because the announcement trailer shows us hyper-realistic graphics that really do make it hard to tell if it's real or not. From the little info that I've actually discovered about this game, you'll be guided by a narrative structure that will be about Alice, who's a diver who explores the seabed and finds a submerged, virtually untouched colony house. Of course, it seems that she's not the only one down there. With this constant threat, puzzles have to be solved to unravel the truth about this haunted underwater mansion and its sinister inhabitants. We don't currently have a release date or even a schedule for this one as of yet, but I will update you more once we hear more. I am actually so glad that we got a deeper look at this next game, as we've heard very little about it for quite some time now, and I'm a massive fan of this studio. If you love Little Nightmares 1 and 2, then the developers at Tarsier Studios gave us a big exclusive look at their new game called REANIMAL. In the new footage, Tarsier shows off the island location that REANIMAL takes place in, a once lovely place that for reasons unknown is now turned nasty. The world, as shown here, is dark and twisted, filled with grotesque, spindly people and distended animal monsters that will feel instantly familiar to fans of Little Nightmares. As with Tarsier's previous games, you will be fleeing these various creatures, with gameplay less about puzzles and more about dealing with the obstacles and hindrances that prevent your escape. The story does actually follow 2 orphans this time around, so it can be played in either single player, couch co-op, or an online co-op. I actually cannot wait for this next entry, but we still don't have a release date unfortunately, other than coming soon. This next one isn't a new announcement, but more of an update, but my god, this game is looking absolutely incredible. Blooper Team has shared its first ever behind the scenes video exploring Cronos The New Dawn setting, a post-apocalyptic rendition of 1980s Poland. This is the home to a survival horror adventure with some hefty helpings of sci-fi and time travel. You'll play as a time-hopping traveler, going back through time rifts to try and extract people who didn't survive the apocalypse. The co-directors of this game give us a tour of the setting amongst the inspirations that are games like Dead Space and a challenge of Dark Souls. The resulting wasteland that you will be exploring is populated by tons of monstrous creatures known as the Orphans. These are essentially different creatures that take on different forms and have distinctive abilities. Honestly, from the whole deep dive, we are in for a promising treat, but sadly, we don't have a clear idea of a release date other than it coming in 2025. This next announcement was easily my star of the show and for so many out there, and seeing Painkiller coming back was nothing short of mind-blowing. It's been more than 20 years since the first Painkiller, the horror FPS game from Bulletstorm and Outriders creators People Can Fly. Players who love the blend of demonic menace and fast-paced shooting have actually been able to find plenty of games to enjoy in the intervening years, like 2016's Doom and its sequel Doom Eternal. But honestly, there's nothing likely to scratch the exact same itch quite as well as this brand new announcement. The new Painkiller looks to revitalize the long-dormant FPS game series by bringing its mix of horror and brutal inventive gunplay back in new form. Painkiller's revival spins the old premise though into a new one, where the player, in co-op groups of up to 3, assumes the role of a champion, who's out to take down the demon Azazel and the monsters Nephilim under his command. It looks absolutely insane, and I love the additional co-op element here. I'm actually hopeful that this one will be a rock-solid FPS when it comes out sometime in fall 2025. As mentioned at the start of this video, we do have 5 big Xbox Game Pass game updates to cover as well. And first to start, we have Clair Obscur Expedition 33, as we got a brand new character trailer for Mael. Alongside more insight on her motivations and playstyle, we also got a glimpse of other fun parts of her character, like different alternative outfits, which are definitely crucial for the fashion-minded amongst us. By the time Clair Obscur Expedition 33 begins, Mael is the youngest among the expeditioners at only 16. Unlike the rest of them, she views the expedition as a chance to explore the world outside Lumiere, and hopefully discover herself in the process. As for where this journey actually takes her, we only need to wait and see. We don't have to wait long though, as the release is only next month, and I will be covering a review on the channel, so make sure you're subscribed down below so you don't miss out on this upload. The bombastic sci-fi action-adventure sequel Revenge of the Savage Planet actually unveiled a bizarre new trailer during the Future Game Show. The trailer introduces players to the Ding Dong Influencer Accelerator Program Extreme Routine. What you really need to know though is that this accelerator program is actually part of the Revenge of the Savage Planet Special Cosmic Hoarder Edition. For those of you who actually buy into this special version of the game, you will get 4 bonus quests, exclusive gold LAM and HR Enforcer spacesuits, and a soundtrack and digital art book, and perhaps most importantly, 3 days of early access. That means that if you pick up this Cosmic Hoarder Edition, you'll be able to make your return to the Savage Planet on the 5th of May. This is 3 days ahead of its official release date on the 8th of May, and I believe there's also an upgrade edition available for all of you Xbox Game Pass subscribers. South of Midnight actually made it onto the ones to watch list for the Future Games Spring Showcase, so the developers from Compulsion Games popped up to give us a look on what to expect from the studio's epic Deep South action-adventure game. We got more of a look at the combat, the characters that you'll meet in your journey, alongside the platforming mechanics, which looks surprisingly solid. Every time I honestly see this game, my hype grows for it so much more, and the team at Compulsion looks to have put their heart and soul into this experience. The game has also gone gold, which means development has now also finished, so now it's time to just anticipate the release when it comes to Xbox and Game Pass Day 1 this April. Finally, we got a look at FBC Firebreak gameplay, and honestly, I think this could be one of the biggest sleeper multiplayer hits of 2025. Set in the same universe as third-person action game Control, FBC Firebreak sees us working together as part of the Firebreak, which is essentially an elite team within the fictional Federal Bureau of Control, and they're responsible for protecting the agency against the most dangerous paranormal threats. The game features jobs, replayable missions with uniquely designed challenges, objectives, and environments. The gameplay trailer gave us a glimpse at Paper Chase, which is one such job where deadly sticky notes have begun replicating at an alarming pace. We will see a wide variety of different enemies, including a terrifying giant sticky note creature that spews streams of stationary items between attacks. Honestly, everything here looks like a ton of fun, and I'm certainly looking forward to diving into it with friends when it comes to Xbox Game Pass Day 1 sometime this summer. Now, it might not be official, but Hollow Knight Silksong will reportedly launch under Xbox Game Pass this June. It has been quite some while since we heard anything official about the action-adventure sequel, but if this report is correct, we could see something announced very shortly. According to reliable Game Pass insider Ecstasis, who previously correctly reported Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4, Crash Bandicoot 4 It's About Time, and many other Game Pass drops, Team Cherry's long-awaited sequel Hollow Knight Silksong will finally launch this year. In fact, the insiders suggest it will launch into Xbox Game Pass in June. This also does go alongside the fact that Xbox did tease the game towards the end of the Xbox Game Pass drop section on their website, and it really is stirring up the rumors. If correct, we could see an announcement during the upcoming Nintendo Direct on the 2nd of April. So, what is your favorite announcement from this list, and are you looking forward to a brand new Painkiller? Let me know in the comments below. Remember to like this video if you enjoyed, and subscribe for more Xbox news, reviews, and updates every single day. Whilst here, why don't you check out my most recent video on screen now, as I did cover the 20 best RPGs on Xbox Game Pass that you can play right now in 2025.